BWOne here from BWOne, and this is the LG G2. LG G2 represents LG's flagship phone for 2013 and a direct competitor to Samsung Galaxy S4. Canon's unique design with the back buttons here in the back, its 5.2-inch display, and Snapdragon 800 processor to compete and be one of the top smartphones of 2013. Find out in my review of the LG G2. So the LG G2 is arguably one of LG's best designed smartphones to date. It's got a really sleek and sexy look to it, and it really screams premium, which I've been really wanting LG to kind of bring out here as a device that has that premium feel and look to it, and the G2 definitely has that. It's a thin device, and it's a pretty light device as well too. It's actually a lot lighter than you would think when you first sort of look at it here, and it does have a pretty good grip as far as how it feels in the hand. I was kind of worried it didn't have like a very thick sort of aluminum sort of sides here to sort of give you sort of that grip that you normally get with the Samsung Galaxy S4. It has a very thin one, but it still makes it feel very, very good in the hand. And the bezel is so thin too, comparative to most phones. You can see that it's got a very thin bezel, and it really makes the screen stand out. Sort of makes it that main event. So when you kind of pick up the phone, you're kind of looking at it, and it's kind of sort of feels like you're just picking up a screen, which is sort of that, you know, that sci-fi sort of Star Trek type of feel that phones and technology is obviously getting closer and closer to these days, as you can see if you follow in the world of technology. Now, one of the unique things about it is that it has all the buttons here on the back. LG basically said they did some research, and they said that it's more natural for people to have the buttons in the back because it's you know, where your index finger is, and it's just a little bit more useful for you. I'm not too sure about that. It does take some getting used to, especially since we've had smartphones for years now have buttons pretty much on the tops or on the sides, and most smartphones today really have the buttons on one side or on the other side, or a combination of the left or the right side. So that's something you're definitely gonna have to get used to and sort of learn to sort of go to the back here when using the physical power button and the volume rocker here on the back. So I kind of feel that the change was more made for change's sake to differentiate itself rather than actual usefulness and functionality, considering what smartphones are out today, and if somebody's deciding to switch to it, they're going to have a little bit of learning curve with it being back here. So not a big fan of just having change just for the sake of change. It always should be a change for more positive or better experience when using a smartphone. Now, it is a fully encased phone, so there's no removable battery. It does come with 3,000 milliamp hour battery built inside of it. There's no micro SD card support either, but there's 16 or 32 gigabyte options. This is the 32 gigabyte one here, and I think most carriers, when it hits the US, are probably going to carry the 32 gigabyte flavor of the LG G2. And your pretty much all your ports are here at the bottom for your headphone jack, your stereo speakers, and your USB port here. I kind of like the headphone jack rather to be here on the top than at the bottom. I always feel like it's just a little bit easier to use it at the top. So that's one that I would have sort of with the design. But other than that, it is a really, really nice design phone. It's sleek, it's sexy, it's what I've been wanting LG to put out here. Definitely something good, and I think a lot of people will enjoy the LG G2 design-wise. So the LG G2 comes with a 5.2-inch Full HD, that's 1920 by 1080 IPS display. So IPS means in paint switching is a sort of very, very good sort of technology for displays. You see that in a lot of monitors, but it comes on a lot of smartphones as well too. And LG was actually one of the first companies to really put on a lot of the phones. I think the LG Nitro from a couple years ago was one of the first phones to come with the IPS display. What that basically means is you get really sharp, vivid, and nice colors with very, very good viewing angles as well on the G2, which is very true here. And you get more accurate colors. You may not necessarily get that sort of pop that you normally get with the AMOLED display, but it's a little bit more natural, a little bit more how it probably really looks in the real world here. So you can see some of the photos that I've taken in the back here, in the background here, and some of the things. You kind of see how the display sort of pops it up. There's sort of a very realistic tone to it. I'm going to go ahead and head to the gallery, and we'll bring that up. Actually, the gallery's right there. Let's go ahead and bring up the gallery right here, and we'll take a look at, it's one on Instagram here. Let's go here. Take a look at some of the photos that I've taken here with the G2. Rotate this around, and you can see sort of how well the colors sort of come out here and sort of pop out when you're taking pictures. And just from the screen here itself, let's go through here. You can see some of the berries that I took pictures of. You can see some of the leaves here, the flower. You zoom in on it, and it's got very, very good. You zoom in all the way like that, and you don't really see much pixelation. You can zoom back out of it here. Still very, very good color reproduction. Just a very nice display overall to look at. And that's obviously going to be good for day-to-day use. And we'll actually take a look at it here And if we go into the multitask, and we'll bring up some of the video here, we'll take a quick look at some transformers here. I always like to use this as an example video. Let's see if we can play this in just a second. And we can bring it here. And now the speakers being here on the side is a little awkward when you're listening to it. It kind of pushes everything to the right. Let's see if we can move over here a little bit. And sort of get the idea here. Won't make this too loud. Turn that down. You can see how nice the display looks. We're watching video and movies, and we'll actually expand it here. Stretches it out a little bit when you expand it like that. It makes it a little bit awkward, but bringing it back out to here. You can see that it does look pretty good. Trying to get the fight scene of some sort here. There we go. Shooting robots. Shia LaBeouf really mad. But just sort of get the idea there with the G2. It's going to be good for movie watching, video watching, watching content, looking at pictures, and pretty much using it to display on a regular basis. You're going to enjoy it, and you're going to really enjoy looking at your phone with the LG G2. So the LG G2 is powered by Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean, and they use what's called an LG Intuitive UI on top of it. It's basically an evolution of Optimus UI. The LG G2 packs a ton of features inside of it, a ton of really cool software and things into that. And we're going to try and show you some of those things in here, but there's a lot to show, and some things that you've seen on some other devices before. So we're going to really focus on some of the more unique ones that you normally see on here, and some things that you can sort of, some bells and whistles you can find as you go through the operating system. Now, the phone is powered by a Snapdragon 800 processor. It's one of the first phones to have that. It's a quad-core Snapdragon 800 processor, and it also has 2 GB of RAM inside of it as well too. So go ahead and use one of the features called Samsung Knock. So let's say you want to power it on and you don't want to press the power button back here. You can easily just tap on the phone. Powers up just like that. You can actually turn it off there as well too. So that's a quick way to sort of just see a notification real quickly if you want to. You just want to catch a glimpse of something and then just turn it off just that way too. We'll turn it on like that, and then you just kind of swipe to unlock, and you can see some of the graphics that they have with that. And if you swipe any of these here at the bottom, it's your quick access. It'll immediately allow you to jump into that particular application. But go ahead and open it up here. And so as we swipe it open, you can see here sort of LG's UI, and it's very fast and fluid. It's just a real nice experience. It's one of the smoothest sort of ROMs that I've seen on an Android-based device. It's just, I haven't seen any slowdown. Real smooth, real nice, really just enjoyable to use as far as navigating through it. Just the speed's very impressive with it. Go ahead in here and we'll take a look at some of the applications that you've been pre-installed. This is the global version, so this doesn't have carrier applications on here, so the performance could change when the carrier has it and they put their sort of their extra applications and such on it here. But you do get things, so it's sort of like a video editor, you get a remote call services, quick remote, that's your sort of your IR blaster that does come with that, so you can control your TV with it. You could Polaris Office, File Manager, Dictionary, a quick translator, safety call, you have LG's Task Manager. Some of these things I've obviously downloaded myself here, some of the games and such like that. But let's take a look at some of the other sort of cool features here. One of them is sort of the quick slide apps, the Q slide apps rather. Now you do have your sort of your quick access up here, which has a ton of options here to choose from. One of them actually being wireless storage, which I'll actually get to that right now. Wireless storage basically allows you to turn this on if you're on a Wi-Fi network, and basically gives it an IP address off that Wi-Fi network, and you can go on your computer, type in the the IP address, and basically access your phone that way. So you can just kind of get, add stuff to it, and basically makes it like sort of a wireless storage sort of hotspot. So that's pretty cool that it does that. It does it very simply by just hitting that button, go into the IP address, and you're pretty much done there. But let's really go into the multitasking features here with Q slide apps. So let's say I want to make sort of a phone call here. No, actually, I want to type a text message to someone. So I have the text message window up here, and let's say while I'm doing that, I'm sort of looking in the background. I'm on the internet for whatever reason, looking at some stuff that's on CNN that I might want to text or talk about with a friend, or I'm doing those two things at the same time. And let's say I want to add another app here to it. I can actually add, let's say I need to, while messaging him, I need to add like a calendar. I need to see what date something's going to happen. So you can have all these sort of running all at the same time, and you can resize these as you want to as well too. And same thing here. Actually, let's go back into let's actually open up the calendar again. I kind of typed that by accident. Let's open that up again. And you can resize that as you want to as well. You can actually make it as transparent as you want. So if you really wanted to be very, very transparent in the background, you can. And any app that you want to maximize into, you can easily do that as well, just by hitting the little maximize icon there. and it basically makes it the full app there while your other smaller apps are still kind of running. And you can do this pretty much all at the same time. So as you're doing one, you can do the other and interact with both of them. So if you need to text message something that you saw and you need to put the data out there, you kind of have it there. Now another thing you can do is pretty cool is like if you take the app and you pull it all the way to the right here, it sort of makes it a sort of a mini app right within here to allow you to sort of access it quickly with just a quick tap. And you can mini app them back just like that as well too. I'll just slide that over here. Have the calendar up there, and you can kind of put these where you sort of want them. So I think this is pretty cool, especially on a mobile phone, especially for more of a smartphone usage. That's a pretty cool way to really do sort of some type of multi-window multitasking. And you can do that with the, the file manager. We'll bring that up. Oh, next number one was allowed to be open, so I think you only have two. I think you can have up to 2 of these actually opened at a time. So if you want to access it again, you tap it, brings it right back up. X is out of it just like that. There you go, and it's all cleared out there for you. Now, there's another multitask feature you can do. So you have your standard multitask, which is this here, found in all Android, just to be able to navigate through all your apps. But let's say I'm on Google Play movies and TVs, and I'm watching a movie, but I need to do something else. But I want to sort of go back to the desktop or go back to the main screen to do something else. I can just use 3 fingers and swipe like this, and it puts it in sort of a save state, and you'll see right here in the notification icon it says slide aside. It's what's pretty much what the feature's called, and it's called One App Save right there, so it knows that it's there. So let's go to another application. Let's say I wanted to go from here, I want to go to my calendar to look at something. Oh, I need to get out of there to go do something else. Let's see, I was playing, let's say I was going in the gallery again. I want to look at pictures. Oh, I need to get out of the pictures. I got to do something else as well too. Let's actually put this back in. 3 fingers, slides that aside as well too, and you can do it up to 3 apps. Now let's say you want to go back into those apps because you need something, because you're done with whatever you're doing. 3 fingers brings all those apps right here to the side. So there's cool sort of multi-window here, and you can kind of go between which one you want to go into. You can exit out of them easy. You can swipe up and down to remove them as you want. Tapping into them brings them back up just like that. You can swipe them away, and swipe it like that, and you can swipe it away again, and it closes it out. Swipe that away. Should close it out. Well, it closes all out when you have them in multi-mode like that. So pretty cool feature with Q slide there. Not the most intuitive with 3 fingers. I like to see them trying to find another gesture to sort of use that with. So if you're using your phone, you might want to, this is a little awkward to do. I like to see something maybe a little bit, something just maybe a little bit different they can sort of figure out there to be able to sort of get to use that a little bit better. But that's pretty cool. Let's put the 2 coolest features that I've seen inside LG sort of UI here. But speaking of, let's go into their sort of their settings menu here, and you can see some of the options. You have your network to choose from, and they have the little switches on here. You have your share and connect, which is basically your NFC, your Wi-Fi direct, your wireless storage, which we show you there. Miracast, which is pretty cool. We've seen that on other LG devices as well. So we actually have a whole video up about Miracast. So check that video out as well too. So it's pretty cool features. Pretty cool way to sort of watch content and sort of use your phone at the same time. You have sound profiles. You have incoming, vibrate, stuff like that. Touch and feedback system you can customize out as you want to. You have your display, which you can set your home and lock screen and front touch buttons, which is pretty nice. Here with this, if you're coming from a different phone, you can actually change sort of what these buttons do. So you want the layout like that, just instantly changes it out like that. One disappointing thing I will say is the fact that I wish it did have capacitive buttons here at the bottom instead of having this here, because really that extra pretty much 2 inches that you get with the phone is taken up by the menu here itself, and I really would rather have that actual screen real estate, so rather than just have it taken up here by the menu, which is a little disappointing. You can also change the background, going back into that to whatever you want it to be, and like that, it's pretty much done. And I'm back out of there. You have your brightness controls. You have Daydream feature as well too. You have Smart Screen, basically similar stuff that you've seen in other other Android devices like the Samsung Galaxy S4. Smart Video as well too is another option you can use. You have your notification ledgers. You can sort of set and customize that as you want to, sort of what you want each notification to do for you. Incoming calls and such, how you want that to work. There is you can customize your font size, screen off effects, auto rotation settings. You can set up your home screen. What do you want for sort of a theme? They have different themes you can choose, from basic to marshmallow. You can change your wallpaper. Now this is pretty cool. The wallpaper is really nice. Now as you saw, as I was kind of swiping through, you can see the wallpaper sort of changing. there's a multi-photo option, so you can actually set it to have multiple photos. And I can add another one here. Let's say I want to add this photo here. We'll just choose a random one, and we can sort of set the size of that and what do we want it to be. It saves it, it puts it in there, and you can add another one here. We'll add another one. Let's see. What else can we add here? We'll add these leaves. I'm just adding randomly, of course. But you can also set it up to have a pretty cool sort of background effect if you wanted to. And so far I've been able to see you can add pretty much as many as you want to. I haven't seen sort of a limit here on it. But the nice thing is that you can actually rearrange these. So if you want to put this photo over to here, it's really just a drag and drop to be able to sort of organize it around. Just as simply as that, you hit apply. We actually go back to the home screen quickly, and you can see sort of a change. It should go between your different desktops here. And actually come like this. You can actually add your desktops just by pinching like that, and you can set your default home screen. Now, let's turn that back on. Oop, there we go. Let's actually hold this. I think we hold this down. There we go. That's what I wanted to pop up there. You can add your apps, widgets, wallpaper. You can customize this around. However, you can edit the multi-photo there as well too, and sort of get the interface to kind of the way you want it and the way you like it. Let's see here. You can see there's a ton of software options inside the G2. Back here into the the settings here. See what else we have. You have your lock screen. You can sort of change the lock screen effect. What wallpapers on the lock screen timeout, power button instantly locks, things like that. Let's go back here. You can do your gestures. So if you want to have your sort of the gestures that you have with this, or there's screen on and off, your fade out ringtone, silence incoming calls, pause video, move home screen icons, motion sensor calibration, calibrate this out if you want to. Another feature in here that basically you can just come when the phone rings, you just put the phone up to your ear and it'll basically answer the phone for you automatically. It's another option that's available on there. You have one-handed operation, which is always nice to see this inside phones because they know, people, these phones are getting bigger in terms of screen size. Not everybody has big hands like me, so it's nice to be able to see that you can sort of have sort of one-handed operation for you to make the phone work for you just a little bit easier. So you have a dial pad, LG keyboard, and things of that nature. So we have the storage. I'll show you that right here. We have the 32GB version. 24GB is available for you for use. And you have the apps inside of here. Those are the apps that we've downloaded. Actually, I didn't want to go to that one. There's a slide aside feature that we were using there, and it kind of gives you a tutorial sort of how that works. Battery right there. Now, as far as battery life is concerned, it's been pretty good. Now, I'm using the global version, which I don't have a real, there's no LTE for this. So for in America, I don't really want to give you a battery life judgment because obviously LTE takes up more battery. It does do pretty well on HSPA, which I was using for a couple of days, but I've been mostly having it on Wi-Fi. And on HSPA, it's been pretty good through AT&T. I've been able to get through an entire day with it on battery use. So, but I'm going to save my battery sort of judgment for when I get to carrier specific ones. But you can show your battery percentage here, which should be on by default, I feel, on any smartphone. Then you have your battery, battery saver, battery tips, and more stuff about the battery here. You can see the usage level, and they sort of give you a nice little UI around it to make it easier to understand what's using it, what your expected time of usage, which is something I haven't seen on other phones before. That's kind of nice to see that there. All right, head back here, back out here. You have your cloud options. You have guest mode. Guest mode basically allows you to set the phone in a way so that if you're giving it to your kid or something like that, they can't get into sort of the core features and change all your stuff around or buy apps accidentally and sort of see some of your private things or anything like that. So we'll actually set this up. I had it set up earlier, but I think I changed it around. This time drive pattern reviews only for guest mode, so we'll choose, just see, square like that again. We'll do that one more time. And I'll probably skip through the first half part of this. So if we kind of jumped into what you're seeing right here, it's because we kind of skipped it earlier because we didn't set guest mode right the first time. So let's go ahead and head back here. So now we have guest mode set. So let's go ahead and turn the phone off. And we turn it back on here. And we can actually go into guest mode. Oh, put the wrong pattern in. And that goes into guest mode here. And this is sort of what you get for access for guest mode. Camera, video, quick remote. Not much of anything else that you get really with it. So it's really good for kids or people you really just don't want to have them using your phone. You only want to do some simple things with it if they need a calculator or something like that, or you don't want to use a phone. You can obviously set these as you want to, but that's what guest mode does for you there. I said I had it set up before, but I wiped the phone and we did a couple other things with it, so I probably didn't need it to set up again. So let's get out of guest mode. Go ahead and lock this. back up again, and we'll go ahead and put in the right one to get into our phone here, just like that. So that is pretty much the software. Like most of the software that's pretty new, or some of the unique features here on the G2. There are a ton of options here. They throw everything in the kitchen sink and LG sort of UI, and you see a lot of the features here that you've seen in other phones as well too, but they have it here and it does work well and does what it's supposed to do here. So it's nice to see that LG is really packing everything inside of it. I would like to see a little bit more refinement with it. When we saw in the Optimus G and Optimus G Pro, they kind of threw everything in the kitchen sink in it. With this, they have done a good job of sort of cleaning that up, make it a little bit easier to sort of navigate around and kind of make a little bit more user-friendly interface. Things like searching, things like, you know, all those type of things. But I would like to see just a little bit more refinement. They got just a little bit more to go, and I think they really will have a very good UI on here. One more thing I want to show you here is the keyboard itself. Keyboard that they have included with it is nice. You'll have to turn on the haptic feedback to make it a little bit more easy to kind of type on. That's what it feel. Has its own number row. It's decent, but you're probably going to end up, if you're used to a third-party keyboard already, you're probably going to end up downloading something like Swift Type or Swipe or something. Let's see if we can go back into here as I hit the off by accident. The song that, let's see. And they almost give you too many predictive options here, which kind of, it's a little bit hard to kind of navigate through. But you can see there, that's the sort of the keyboard. It's nice if you're not the particular on your keyboard, you're probably like using this. If not, you're probably going to want to look at using something third party if you've been using it for a while. So you might want to add that back on here to it. But like I said, good software coming from LG. It's been refined, but they need one more step, I think, to refine it just a little bit more to give it sort of that I think, put it at that level that it really needs to be at. So the LG G2 packs a 13 megapixel camera with OIS, which they call optical image stabilization. I think they really need to get a fancy marketing term for that, because that's a lot to say, and I've already messed it up a couple of takes already trying to say that. But 13 megapixels inside of it here, so it's pretty much standard with most phones that you see out in the market today. The image stabilization feature is sort of when you're shaking around and such, it's supposed to take a pretty good picture. We can try a little bit of a test here, and if I'm moving just a little bit, it's supposed to be able to sort of pick it up and not make it as blurry, which you can see it does a pretty decent job there. Major movements, it's not going to work as well, but in most sort of cases, if you're just standing by holding your phone, and some people are a little shaky with holding the phone, it's going to do a pretty good job. Now, as far as the interface is concerned, it's pretty simplistic interface with your modes right here, and it's stuff that you've seen before, and all sorts of things that they have on here. You have your shot and clear, your normal, your night mode, sport, intelligent auto, time catch shot, dual camera. They do have the dual camera mode here. It does have the beauty shot, burst shot, VR panorama, which makes a 360 degree shot, and a standard panorama shot there, and your dynamic tone and HDR settings. And you can change sort of the way these look. You can do a grid, or you can do a sort of the scroll, as you kind of seen I had here. And we'll go ahead and go back into normal mode. Switch the camera out here. The front facing camera, which is 2 megapixels. Go back out here. You have the flash options, and you have your settings here. And you can have the cheese shutter, which is basically voice commands if you want to say, you know, LG cheese, or it gives you a certain set of commands you can use to take a picture, picture using voice commands. Brightness controls, you have your 13 megapixel image. You can do a widescreen 16:9 and 10 megapixels. You have your ISO, color effects, white balance, shutter sound, volume key for capture if you want to use the back of it here, which I wouldn't really want to use on here since it's so close to the actual phone. So it's kind of weird that it's kind of there. You can reset these back if you need to. Let's go ahead and back here, show you some of the video mode. Video mode's 1080p, and it does have 60 frames per second option. We uploaded a video already on the web, already on our YouTube channel now, so you can check that out. So they have sort of normal live effects, dual recording, so you can record both the front and rear facing camera. You have tracking zoom as well too, and you can sort of change the way the menu sort of works with that. Let's go back here in the settings. You can see you have audio zoom, which is cool. So basically what audio zoom does is kind of let you sort of zoom in on something to kind of pick up audio. If somebody's a little bit distance away, it's going to try and pick up the audio from where it's zooming in if it's a little further away from you. Similar option you saw in the camera section, white balance, color effects, and you have your video recording options here. You have full HD at 1920 by 30 frames, and you have the 60 frames option as well too. And that is pretty much it, geotagging and such like that. Now, as far as the quality is concerned, the quality is actually pretty good on the LG G2. This is pretty much the best camera they've put in a smartphone in a while. It does take some pretty good pictures with pretty good color reproduction on it. It's going to be good for uploading to YouTube, uploading to Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, any place where you kind of sort of share your pictures around and such. Video quality is going to be good for uploading to YouTube as well too. Its quality's on par with, I would say, the Samsung Galaxy S4 and sort of other Android devices that have pretty good cameras on it. So I wouldn't say it's better and it's not worse. It's pretty much right on par with that. Now, in terms of sort of the camera software here, it's okay. I would like to see it a little more refined. I think the way to sort of get through the modes is a little on the quirky side. I would like to see them sort of use the screen real estate on here just a little bit better. And it's also a little annoying here that you have this whole entire side right here. This is what I'm talking about, not having those capacitive buttons here, and you have all this here which gets in the way of the screen, which could have created a bigger viewfinder for you. But the camera on the LG G2 is a very good camera, and many people will be pleased when using it. So the LG G2 is a great flagship phone from LG. It's the best phone they've put out this year, and it's really like, I really like the phone. It's just design, the software, everything that's inside of it. LG has really kind of gone out there and really decided, let's make a flagship phone, a true flagship phone, and put it out there and let's see how it's going to work out. And one of the key things they definitely got done with this is getting it across all carriers. So Sprint, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T are going to carry this LG G2. We reviewed the global version, but we will take a look at some of the other ones when they do come out here in the US. So definitely that's going to help this out. The display is awesome. The whole kind of phone design is really good, very comfortable in the hand, as I said before. I could do without sort of the back button design here. I understand you might do some research with it, but to be honest, smartphones today, all phones use buttons on the side. It's pretty much what a button placement is, and that's what we're used to when using smartphones. So changing it to the back here makes it a little bit more sort of a learning curve that we'll learn where these are versus it being something more intuitive. It's sort of making change for change's sake instead of actually making change to make it improve the experience and such. So that's what I kind of feel that it's changed it just to change it, and I don't think that was one of the best ideas here to do with it. It's a snappy, responsive phone. Great software features. I love the Q slide apps, and I really do like sort of slide-to-slide multitasking. I think those are two very useful things that take advantage of such a large display and really giving you sort of that mobile computing while still keeping it very smartphone centric. So it still feels like a smartphone. It doesn't feel like a phablet or anything like that. But overall, like I said, I really do like the phone. I'm excited what LG is going to bring to the table in 2013, and hopefully this phone will really do well in the market. It's going to be competing against some very tough competition in the holiday with the Galaxy S4 and the new iPhones that'll come out, and also with the Galaxy Note 3 that's also going to be coming out as well too. So hopefully this does not get lost in the shuffle. You know, also let's not forget about the Droid phones that are out, and many other phones that are probably going to come out around that time. So hopefully LG can get this out there and really get it out and really get it to people and really get people to purchase it and use it for their own personal devices, because I really do like the LG G2. So this is BWOne here from BWOne. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like. It really does help us out. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page here to get the latest tech videos, reviews, how-tos, and helpful news, of course, as we love to do on here. Also check us out on all the social networks on Google+, Facebook, Twitter. We have all those. The links are in the description. And always remember to live your tech world in high definition. Thanks for watching.